The King of Heaven knelt down to wash dirty feet. In a world obsessed with power, Jesus chose humility. It is an act so profound in its simplicity that it can silence the loudest hearts and capture the most restless minds. There is no grand pronouncement, no celestial fanfare, only the quiet, deliberate motion of greatness bending low. It is a picture of ultimate authority choosing ultimate humility, a paradox that holds the key to a truth that echoes through the ages. It asks us to pause. The room itself is plain, bathed in the gentle, flickering glow of candlelight. The air hangs thick and still, heavy with unspoken questions and the scent of oil lamps. A simple clay bowl filled with water sits upon the stone floor, its surface reflecting dancing flames. Discarded sandals lie in a humble pile near the doorway, silent storytellers of dusty roads and long journeys. Every detail is small, every element ordinary, yet together, they compose a scene of extraordinary significance. It is a moment suspended in time where the eternal touches the earth, not with a crash of thunder, but with the soft whisper of water being poured. He was not a king, as the world imagines one, adorned in purple robes and a heavy crown of gold. He reached for a towel, its rough fabric a stark contrast to the divine purpose it was about to serve. He poured the water. The sound was a gentle rush in the quiet room, a liquid song of service. The water shone in the warm, low light, a small, bright promise of cleansing. With hands that were strong and gentle, he lifted the first foot, treating it with a reverence that defied all expectation. He did not rush. He did not recoil. He lovingly washed away the grime of the day. Washing feet was not just a task. It was the work of the lowest servant, a profound subordination. Roads were dust and mud. Feet bore the brunt, collecting dust, mud, and weariness. Touching a foot was intimate and humbling, a sign of deep respect or deep servitude, an act acknowledging shared humanity, shared weakness, and the shared burden of the journey. To embrace this role is to embrace the lowest place, to love unafraid of the dirt and the messiness of real life. When he knelt, the very atmosphere seemed to shift and change. It was as if the laws of power and position were quietly rewritten. Power, long understood as rising up, now flowed down into tender service. The greatest among them bowed low. The strongest hands became the most gentle. In this stunning reversal, the largest heart touched our smallest cares. The one who could summon angels chose instead to serve. No trumpet, no parade, only a quiet, deliberate choice in candlelight, away from clamoring crowds, yet speaking with mountain-shattering volume. It reveals a truth about God often lost in doctrines and debates. Divine love is tangible, found in small acts of kindness, tying a sandal, offering bread, wiping someone's face. Greatness is not grasped but given, growing from humble hands willing to serve. Look closely at the hands, steady and sure, moving with calm, unhurried grace. They hold each foot as something precious, a treasure to be cared for. Fingers trace the road in the skin, washing away dust and weariness. Each drop feels like a clean promise, a tiny baptism of renewal. This is what love does when it guides our hands. Look at the faces, softened by flame, eyes telling their own story. Some wide with surprise, some lowered in contemplation, some filled with gentle wonder. Words are scarce, only breathing and the splashing of water. The towel is no shame. In his hands, it becomes a different kind of authority, a sign of selfless love. It wraps like a tender embrace, a small gift of comfort and warmth. A human touch that says, I see you. I am with you in your weariness. You are known and cared for. No hurry here. They watch and learn a lesson no podium could give. This teaching is quiet, intimate, and alive, entering through eyes and heart. It lives in the movements of the hands that wash and in the wide eyes that watch. He moves from person to person without exception, none too important, none too insignificant, no favorites. From ardent loyalty to the heart turning toward betrayal, his love is offered to all. This is how God loves, not distant on high, but near, within our dusty realities. Love that kneels, doing necessary humble work. Quiet strength secure enough to bend. This is a power that does not conquer, but heals. Think for a moment about the water. Simple, elemental, cleansing what is dirty, quenching thirst, sustaining life. It carries away the dust and rests in the basin. A quiet testament to love's work. Not a palace, an ordinary room made sacred by humility. Simplicity keeps the focus on love's slow, caring movements. Think of the sandals, worn, weathered, molded by long roads, labor, and burden. Roles and titles fall away. Beneath them are souls, vulnerable, in need of grace and care. This quiet story presents a choice. See power as service and love as deliberate action. You do not need a grand stage or a massive audience to love this way. You need only a ready hand and an open, willing heart. It begins with noticing the small needs all around you, a willingness to stoop to set aside your agenda and your comfort for another. Let pride fall away. Serve without seeking recognition or reward. In countless small acts, the world is changed, one gentle gesture at a time. A quiet life, steady, consistent, and true, like a deep river with immense power. This way asks for patience, with ourselves and with others, and a courage that chooses gentleness. To care deeply in a rushing culture takes a resolute will. Yet these quiet acts shape our souls into something beautiful and strong. Imagine a life shaped by this upper room moment, one that bends low, listens more than it speaks, and brings peace and healing to home, work, and weary streets. This story does not fade. It settles into the quiet corners of the heart and asks a question by example. Who will kneel? Who will lift the heavy, tired feet of the world? Who will wipe away dust and tears? Not one great leader or special class. The answer is any willing hand. Yours, mine. Remember the king who washed feet. Remember the clay bowl, the rough-woven towel, the worn sandals, the soft, flickering candles. Remember the act that turned power upside down. Love in action. Let it guide your steps and shape your small daily choices. When you meet the dirty feet of the world, the lonely, the overlooked, the weary, the broken, do not turn away. Do not pretend not to see. Bend down, pour out compassion. Use your hands, use your time, use your resources. Be gentle, be present. Let love act without shouting its own name. Show a strength secure enough to kneel, a power expressed in serving. The echo of this moment follows us out of the quiet room and into daily noise. A persistent call, and a standard to measure our hearts. See power not for self-advancement, but as opportunity for service. This is an invitation, a path marked by the basin and the towel, a journey on our knees. The world says climb, achieve, put yourself first. This way asks us to die to pride and choose another's good. Strength is not muscle or might, but a vulnerable, open heart. In giving ourselves away, we find ourselves, and deepest joy. Hands that could call down fire chose to wash away grime. Let our strength lift, heal, restore. We are left with this sacred memory and a gentle invitation. Remember the king who knelt. Remember the quiet power that flows from a humble heart. Then, go and do likewise. Look for the feet that need washing in your life, in your community. Do not wait for a grand occasion. Start with the small, the simple, the person right in front of you. Bend down. Pour the water. Take up the towel.